a personal point of view, or an individual point of view, better said, you have to have a mix of a couple of different skills. Uh, you have to understand the management process within the organization you're working in, and how you go from I've got an idea or we've got an idea to how that actually makes itself to market. The other piece that's increasingly now more relevant, has been for quite a few years, is you have to bring a practitioner skill with you.
Right.
So whether that's digital design, industrial design, it really doesn't matter as long as it's relevant to the process or the organization you're working with. So I think those are two things that you need to think about. If you're a leader in an organization and you're trying to scale up, one of the first things that comes to mind is what really is the work. And I would say, what's the work of today? Plus, what does the work look like in 3 to 5 years' time? Because in some corporations, what you work on today may not get to market until 3, 4, 5 years' time. So you have to start thinking ahead and planning ahead, and be cognizant of that. Going back to that sort of scale-up point of view, there are sort of 4 values that I hold from a leadership point of view that are pretty critical. The first one is who's the talent? So you have to have talent, whether you're creating an internal organization or an external organization. You need to work with talent that's going to meet and hopefully exceed your business needs. The second point is about process, and most people think in the creative space about processes almost become a dirty word. But if you think about it in a more sort of positive way, if you can create a process that's efficient, effective, helps decision-making quickly, is successful and repeatable, then you've got an opportunity then to influence how an organization does something effectively. And the last one, and these 4 points are not in order of priority, so that you have to sort of flex with them a little bit. The last one is about environment. So environment is not just a physical thing, but it's also a psychological thing. So the physical piece could be how you bring different teams together, and does the space that you're working in inspire and functionally help you deliver. The other part about environment is, how does leadership, whether it's you, whether it's the C-suite or whatever management organization you're working with, how do they support your activities? So if I think of some of my personal examples, where design has been successful, or where I've flourished, is where I've worked in an environment that's been incredibly supportive. I can think of times at P&G where we're working in an environment where we had a transition of management, and the transition led to somebody who was much more immersed in what we were doing, much more supportive of what we were doing. And it made the process then of whether it was agreeing the innovation all the way through to finalizing the design, it made the process a lot easier because you felt supported and it felt like your point of view had value. You still had to do the hard work to develop the point of view and get the work created, but it felt easier for me, certainly as a leader, and for my team to deliver against that because we knew we had somebody who had our back. So the environment to me is a critically important piece. I know I left it to sort of last on the list, so to speak, but once you have an a positive, supportive environment in place, the talent will come, the processes will be easier, and it'll enable you to manage more effectively and ultimately lead more effectively and make more dramatic change for your business or your organization.